Hi, this is Mike Fink with Go Missions to Mexico, and we had a real special thing that happened this week. A lot of people are afraid about coming to Mexico and have nightmares of what the police are like and things like that. And we have a wonderful lady here called Sally. Go ahead and tell us your name.
I'm Sally Palafox from Canby, Oregon.
Okay, so anyway, she was coming down and was going through Ensenada, and you left your purse at a Burger King, right?
Correct.
Okay, well,
Yes.
she got down here and we wondered exactly what to do. And we called the police, and they were so gracious. They went over and got the purse and took it to the police station. And then a couple days later, you went up to get that. So go ahead and just tell us briefly about what happened. You got some pictures there to show us, and you just were really touched about the kindness and graciousness of the policeman. So go ahead and tell us briefly your story here.
Well, being down here, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence that I would even see my purse again that I left behind in Burger King in Ensenada. And thank God for the calls from Miguel and from several of the team that I came down with from Canby. They were making calls to the police and everywhere up there, and the police called Michael back.
And Michael is your humble servant here. Okay. She's
Yes,
referring to me as,
yes.
yeah, Mike. Miguel is what I go
Miguel.
by in Mexico here, so okay.
And they called him back and said they found my purse. And I was so overwhelmed I could not even speak. It had to have been God. God just protected my passport, my driver's license, my money that was in my purse, which was over $200. And there wasn't one thing missing, down to my fingernail clippers and my little flashlight. It was all in my purse when we went to get it. And we had to go to 3 different police stations, and the 3rd police station is the one that had it. And they were so gracious, they were so kind, they were so accommodating, and they just felt bad that I had to go through that. I mean,
We'll zoom here on your pictures here. You were going to show us some of your pictures here. Okay,
This
go ahead.
policeman's name is Antonio, and he went from the police precinct where he works, which is a ways away, over to Burger King, got the purse, and itemized everything in it, and then put it on hold at the police station. And these other policemen were just like so excited, to see such a good end to a story. And they were just very...
So here you're getting a big hug, aren't you? Gee whiz.
It was so just very nice of them to accommodate us. And they were just all smiles and shaking our hand when we said Dios le bendigo. They were like,
God bless you.
And it just had to be... There's one in here of all of the... Oops, maybe there's not. I guess that's the...
Okay,
Yeah, and then they even gave me a certified receipt that all of the policemen that were in there, and Susan Dunphy, the translator for our team,
well, that's awesome.
translated. But they have itemized here everything that was in my purse, and everything was there down to the penny. They even got change out and said.
Wow.
And it's just God. It was just a miracle. I'm just still overwhelmed.
Right.
I get tears in my eyes just thinking about it. And I thank Mike here so much, because you didn't even know me, and as soon as I got out of the van, I had tears in my eyes. So I just thank you just for being
it was a real
such
pleasure.
our humble servant.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, we just wanted to highlight here that, once again, so many people that come down are afraid of the policeman. They've heard all these bad stories, and unfortunately, no good stories or no good news ever makes it back to the States about what happens. I personally have lived down here for 15 years and been coming down for almost 20, and all my experience have been just absolutely wonderful with the policemen. They've been very respectful and very helpful, and in fact, I have good friends that are policemen. So you had just an absolutely wonderful experience. So for those back home that might be concerned about how they're going to be treated by the policemen, some of the good news that people don't know is that the last president has changed all of the border officials and has really taken out the corruption, and any policeman who does anything questionable is fired. So things have really cleaned up. So a lot of the stories that
Wow, I
you've
didn't know
heard,
that.
yeah. Well,
That is
you haven't heard
amazing.
the
Yeah.
you've heard all the bad news,
Right.
right? Well, there's
Right.
really a lot of good news that has happened. So, anyway, thanks so much, Sally, for sharing your story. Go ahead. You got something
Even
else?
the young workers at Burger King
Okay.
were very honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I would think, I mean, they're young, they don't make much,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I just had visions of them saying, "Wow, look at here,"
Mm-hmm.
you know what?
Mm-hmm.
And they were honest, turned it over to the police, and thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Just,
So, I guess two
Yeah.
things we want to highlight. One is that there's been a lot of corruption taken out. The policemen were wonderful. The workers at Burger King. So, things are a lot better than what a lot of people think in Mexico. But the second thing, and probably the most important thing, is that God took care of you.
Oh my! And when I went back over there from Mike's office after he was making phone calls and just trying putting other things on hold just to help me when I first got here, and I'm on the kitchen crew, and when I got back over there, the gals in the kitchen had just prayed 2 minutes, not even 5 minutes, before Mike came over and said my purse was found, and then the other groups had been praying. So, I mean, I'm a believer, but now
Yeah, you're really.
I just can't.
Yeah, God took care of you, and I guess that's the second thing that we want to say is that, we are God's children. The hairs of our hair, the hairs of our head are numbered. Our days are numbered. And God is a big enough God to take care of us wherever we go, in country, out of country. So sometimes we need to exercise a little bit of faith in God and not be afraid about coming to Mexico because, humbly said, Christ's words probably would apply to many, O ye of little faith.
And trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to mine own understanding, because I would have been leaning toward what I understood.
Yeah.
But in all thy ways, we had to let him direct our paths, and
Oh, great.
he's amazing.
Well, thank you so much, Sally, for sharing your story here. And those of you listening to this, be encouraged that things aren't as bad as what you might think in Mexico, and you have a big God that can override any situation. So thank you so much,
He's an amazing
Sally.
God.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All righty.
Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Good
All
night.
righty.